The Igbos have come out to reject vehemently the Southern coalition that Tinubu is proposing to fight the Northern oligarchs. One thing I want to talk to the Igbos about this very program is I've said that any Southern coalition led by Tinubu is a trap to lord himself over the Southerners, right? He is a feudal lord. But I have to tell you, my brothers and sisters listening to me right now, that the Southerner and then the Nigerian politics, as it were, we have not gotten to that level of maturity that you will be seeking a coalition of ideology. Oh yes, the Igbos might be ahead of their time. Maybe that is their offense. I think they are ahead of their time. I think their exposure, their knowledge, their wisdom and intelligence at this time and age in the Nigerian political maturity is seen as being psychologically impaired. You know, the Igbos are always said to be politically naive. The point is, Nigerian people and the Nigerian politicians do not understand what it is called political ideology, because we have not gotten to that stage. So the Igbos must begin to get this and get it on time. I was outside earlier today and I was having a conversation with my Igbo friend. I said, what would be the pathway for an Igbo man in the Nigeria as it were today? He said, come 2027, and Obi will win. And I said, if only, beggars will ride what? Horses. If only wishes were what? Were free and could become realistic. Beggars will ride horses. You must understand that for 2027, for an Igbo man to become the president of this country, it is almost impossible, because the North are impatient to go back to recover that power. If a Peter Obi becomes the president, it simply means a Peter Obi will not do one thing. You as an Igbo man, would you ask Peter Obi to serve for one term? Of course not, you won't. So the Northerners, the people from the North, the Hausas and the Fulanis, understand this perfectly well. That, are you telling me that after a Tinubu 4 years, if Peter Obi wins, he will now spend additional 8 years, making it a straight run for the South, making 12 years? I mean, that is literally almost impossible. And if a Peter Obi feels he wants to coalesce or go into coalition with Atiku, the same Igbo youth have warned Peter Obi not to try it. Then what is the pathway for the Igbos? The thing is, when you are in Rome, you have to behave like a Roman. When you are in the North, if they tell you no alcohol, no go they carry bottle of beer for road before they knock you akpako for head. In Nigeria, you have to understand that you have to work with the dirty pigs, because the Nigerian political arena is a place filled and littered with mud. You don't go into Nigerian political arena with your white and you think you're not going to get stained. It's impossible. The likes of Showore, who are trying to say that, well, we are the holiest of the holiest. Why do you think they are not getting support? Why do you think people are not supporting Showore? Why do you think people are not ready to die and fight for a Peter Obi? It is simple. Because the Nigerian people, the Nigerian contraption, the Nigerian citizens are still political illiterate. The Nigerian people will tell you that, okay, anyhow you go take, just go there. If you don't reach there, no wahala, do what you do. What are they telling you? Is that statement not instructive enough to you? Is that statement not indicative that the Nigerian people do not care for what we call political ideology? It does not tell you that the Nigerian people do not really care about that, hey, I am moving Nigeria from consumption to production. You are, the show will say that the oppressed needs to, they need to organize and fight the oppressor. Nigerian people will be say on election day, just one loaf of bread, you don't give them, everywhere don't scatter. They don't go thumbprint for Tinubu, we don't enter. Let's look at this from a bigger picture. I want an Igbo man to have a taste of that power. I sincerely do want to have it. The Igbos have a very important role they have played in this society. In fact, the Igbos are one of the main pillars that is holding the economy of the Nigeria together. When you look at our trades and businesses, the Igbos control at least 50% of it. They are into importations, they are into spare part businesses, they are also into so many other forms of, even in a Greek, you find them there. And they are hardworking. Igbos are not lazy, they are not pushbacks, they are not laid backs. And also, they are thirsty, they are hungry for knowledge. If you go to diaspora, the Yorubas and the Igbos have almost the same equal populations. When you talk about Nigeria today, the most educated tribes, the most educated ethnicity, it is an argument that the Igbos are way educated than the Igbos. The Yorubas have more educated people than the Igbo. It is an argument. But when it comes to the Nigerian politics, pushing sentiment aside, when I heard that the Igbos reject the Tinubu's coalition, that it is an unholy coalition, that it is a coalition that does not bring in an agenda, a coalition that does not bring in what we call ideology to move the country forward. Nigeria will not move forward, my dear brothers and sisters from the southeastern region, if the northerners are not provoked. Are you not seeing the powerful grip the North have over us in the South? Do you not know that it was the North that kicked out Jonathan? Have you forgotten? Under Jonathan, we were all living well and good, a Southerner. But we know that it was the North. Yes, I agree that Tinubu also supported them, but he supported them because of his own selfish interest. But if Jonathan was a strong man, he wouldn't have cowered. He wouldn't have been, begging the Northerners. Jonathan built nothing less than 1,000 elementary schools in the North. Those schools have become the den of the bandits today. Those schools today are where the Fulani bandits aggregate to hold their meetings, to strategize the formation of attack. The same Jonathan was told that he will be kicked out by the North, and he was kicked out. In less than a year of Tinubu, a Southerner, no matter how terrible, no matter how grievous your son is, I don't think you will throw your son to the lion to feed. I don't think. And as a Southerner, we must begin to see ourselves as Southerners. I agree that if we had a country that was not separate, self-separate, yes, the Igbos and the Yorubas might be having that constant conflict, but it will be a productive one. It won't be this destructive competition that we have with the North. The Northerners will be telling you that your son who went to write JAM, your son who scored 280 in JAM, right? However, he wants to study medicine. They will tell you that a northern child has scored 190, a little above 200, maybe he scored 201. Your own son that scored 290 will be denied to study engineering. But that northern child will be given admission. That is a destructive competition. It is not an healthy competition. It is not a fair and equitable competition. Let me take you back. In the days of regionalism, when we have the Awolowo and M.I. Okpara, we were having what we call educational competition. We were having what we call the sportsmanship competition. When the Eyimba of Enugu will come into Lagos to fight the shooting stars of Ibadan, they will fight there was this competition. They come and fight the Gateway FCs. We had that competition whereby in the media we're saying that the Yorubas were better than the Igbos in football. The Igbos were better than us in technology. We had that competition. So everybody just wanted to be better than each other. But We didn't set the bar below anybody. We didn't favor anybody. Everybody knew we had the same cutoff mark. Everybody knew that we have equal measure to equal opportunities. What matters is your optimization level. And we saw the high level of development. While the Southwest was developing rapidly, the Southeast was also developing rapidly. Industrialization was going on in Lagos State when we had the industrial park of Obakran in Ikeja. We also had the industrial park within the axis of Abakaliki to inwards Enugu, because we didn't have Ebonyi then. So you see, these things were the order of the day. Know what you're doing, send your child to school, have what we call healthy competition, unlike what we have today. And these are the things that maybe Tinubu's coalition will have to break, because the North must be put into order. They need to understand that we in the South are not their slaves. We in the South are not lower citizens. If you talk to any common Northerner today, they will tell you that it is the North that decides the direction Nigeria will go. When Tinubu came on board, when it was rumored that a bill is about to be pushed, a bill of regionalism, guess the people that came out? It was the North. Ali Ndume. We started seeing Ali Ndume. We started seeing Governor Zulum of Zamfara. You know, we started seeing all these people. We saw the governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, coming out to say that nobody can take power from the North. The North are the power brokers. Yes. Tinubu said, okay, you know what? Let us even talk to the Southern Kaduna people. The Southern Kaduna people have been marginalized in their own states. They do not admit Southern Kaduna children into Abu Zaria. They will admit a child that bears the name Musa and Bello first before they admit a child that bears Christopher. In the Nigerian army, the Northern Kaduna has colonized the Nigerian army. The Northerners are having so many population in the Nigerian army, wherein you will count 10 Northerners before you count 3 Southerners. Tinubu has said, okay, let us split the Nigerian Aviation College. Let us have it in 6 geopolitical zones. We saw how the North came out. This man, he don't they cut our this thing. This one, he don't they break our power. This man, they are calling Tinubu a divider. They said we thought Tinubu was a unifier. We didn't know Tinubu was a divider. Oh yes, Tinubu will be a divider to you people. But for us in the South, and I am sure the Middle Belt will equally align with the South. The South needs to have a political bloc. And I want to use this medium to plead with the Igbos. While I understand that the Igbos, they say there's an adage there that in the Igbo land there's no king, that everybody now got for in pockets. While I understand what this means, these are the tenets and the characteristics of a Republican. But my fear is the Igbos are way ahead of their time. Nigeria and the Nigerian politics is still in the medieval era. The Nigerian politics is all about ethnicity, religion. Nigerian politics is a tribal one, not an ideologically based politics. If Nigeria was playing an ideological politics, the Nigerian people would be supporting Shawore. The Nigerian people would, but as of today, not be singing the praise of Tinubu. Delta State will not be changing its color to APC. Kwankwaso will not be saying that let me go and work with Tinubu. They are all positioning themselves. Kwankwaso wants to position himself for 2031 because he wants to be the president by 2031. Are you with me? We all know the power Kwankwaso wields. The South, who are the weakest, the Akpabios, unfortunately, these are not good people. But they are positioning themselves in a post that the Igbos should occupy. Like I said earlier, in my very early video of this morning, I said that the Igbos must be strategic, that the very best time the Igbos would have won was 2023, but they missed it. The next thing they should gun for is either a vice presidential slot or somehow, miraculously, they regain Biafra. Now, amongst the two, which one is more realistic? We know that the vice presidential slot is more realistic even before the Biafra. It might take a Biafra 20 years, but for the Igbos to become a vice president, it will only take them at least 5 years. And from there, they can begin to push their agenda. Because I sincerely want the emancipation of an ordinary Igbo man. I have always said it that in a situation where Nigeria splits, in a situation whereby the Biafra Republic becomes a reality, I will travel down to Biafra and collect the Biafran citizenship. I have always said it. Right? Because I know that I want to work with people who are hardworking. I don't want to go to a territory in a region whereby you will not be able to fulfill your full potential. In the north, you might not be able to fulfill your full potential. Because they will tell you, Sharia does not allow this. Period. They tell you, you cannot do this, you cannot say this. A video, I will show you a video now, where an Alpha was telling his congregation that watching a satellite dish is a sin. I will show you after I finish my conversation with you guys. Now, these are the kinds of, parochial conversations they have with them way back in the north there. Telling them that anybody that installs a satellite dish has seen, has committed what we call haram. And these are things that they cite fatwa for. That such a person stands a chance to go to hellfire. You see, this is how they brainwash them. They don't want their people to have access to information so that they can always disinform them, and before you know it, they become handicapped, and of course they are malnourished. This is what they are doing there in the north. Can we agree as a South that we need to work together? Unfortunately, the person leading this coalition, yes, he might be bold, but he's not a good person. I'm not going to come here and tell you Tinubu is a good person. I'm not going to come here and tell you that Tinubu is doing well economically. I'm not going to come here and tell you that Tinubu is the best thing that has happened to Nigerian democracy. But I am only going to tell you that Tinubu understands the language that Nigerians as of today understand, and that is tribal lines. You say one thing against someone's tribe now, you see what thing will happen. Go to Benin and talk against the Okpolokpolo of Benin Kingdom. Go to Onitsha and speak against the Obi of Onitsha. Go to Ife and speak against the Oni of Ife. See what will happen. These are the things that Tinubu wants to coalesce. That the North, we have had enough. Enough is enough for the North. Why are they always trying to subdue us? Are we not supposed to be the most educated people? I think saying now we get sense pass for now. How come this not? Maybe we in the South, yes, we might have our differences, but can we agree to fight a common enemy? Because for our own progress, our common enemy are the northern oligarchs. And until we get to that position that we begin to see them as a collective enemy, we might not move forward. Because the only way they have been able to trap us and capture us is by balkanizing our movement in the South. They'll balkanize, maybe sometimes they take away the Southwest, and the Southeast and the South will be working together. And sometimes, like they want to do now, you can see they are now instigating the Igbos, telling the Igbos that Tinubu is not appointing anybody. But when Buhari was there, did Buhari appoint an Igbo man? I thought Tinubu still appointed an Igbo man as the chief of naval staff. Tinubu no give any Igbo man one shishi. However, you can see in the last 1 year, they have been shouting, Igbo, Tinubu is marginalizing you. Can't you see? Speak up. They know what they are doing. Oh. Shine your eyes. Let's watch that video of that imam telling us that satellite dish is an haram.
Satellite dish. Satellite dish yẹn tó bá so sórí ilé tó bá fi kú kò ní rà àlùjánnà wọ̀ torí pé haram ló ṣe. Fàtíwá ni o tán ṣe ó wà lákọọ́lẹ̀ o mo ṣe ní mo ní ó pọ̀ nínú kìíní àfáà Abdulaziz Abdulrazaki òun tọ́jú ẹ̀ ó kó jọ rẹpẹtẹ ẹ́ńjìnì rúmù nínú àwọn fàtáwà.
وهنا مسألة ذكرتها الآن أحب أن أنبه عليها، وهي أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: ما من رجل يسترعيه الله على رعية يموت يوم يموت وهو غاش لرعيته إلا حرم الله عليه الجنة. وهذه الرعاية تشمل الرعاية الكبرى الواسعة والرعاية الصغرى، وتشمل رعاية الرجل في أهله. وعلى هذا فمن مات وقد خلف في بيته شيئا من الدشوش فإنه قد مات وهو غاش لرعيته، وسوف يحرم من الجنة كما جاء في الحديث. ولهذا نقول إن أي معصية تترتب على هذا الدش الذي ركبه الإنسان قبل موته، إن كل معصية تترتب عليه بعد موت الإنسان فإن عليه وزرها وإن طال الزمن وكثرت المعاصي. فاحذر أي أخي المسلم، احذر أن تخلف بعدك ما يكون إثما عليك في قبرك وما كان عندك من هذه الدشوش، فإن الواجب عليك أن تكسره، لأنه لا يمكن الانتفاع به إلا على وجه